ready. Green, green, green.
These drivers put on a great show
on every type of track.
driving these cars, banging off of each other.
Oh, he gets sideways. He's off the racetrack. There he goes, trying to make the pass. If you're a driver trying to get in, you get little opportunities like that. Watch how hard these guys are going to drive.
Checkered flag in the air.
Checkered flag there, champion.
Welcome to I-44 Speedway in Lebanon, Missouri. Tonight, it's the site of the G-Oil 150, brought to you by Toyota. For the first time ever, the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West Division comes to this racetrack. Hi, everybody. Ray Dunlap along with Phil Parsons. Derek Perniciglio will be joining us here in just a few moments. Gorgeous night. There's a little chance of rain. We'll hope that'll stay away. And for more on what we might expect in tonight's race, let's go down trackside to Derek.
Guys, this is one of the highest bank tracks the series will race on all year, but look right here. It's all grade. There's no rubber laid down. If you come all the way up here to the middle of the track, lots of rubber. This is where the cars have been running all day, right in the middle to the top line of the track. We talked to past champion Greg Pursley earlier. He said watch out for drivers to be pulling the dreaded slide job tonight.
And we love the fact that high bank racetracks give you lots of options. Derek Thorne is our point leader after 4 of 15 races, and a three-way tie for second place. Great competition so far this year, and we'd like to meet one of our young drivers.
Hi, I'm Cameron Haley, driver of the number 24 Cabinets by Haley Ford Fusion for Gene Price Motorsports. I started racing go-karts at the age of 4 and fell in love with the sport. My end goal is to get to this NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. It's always been my goal ever since I was 2 years old going to the track. So just take the right steps to get there and get there one day. I moved up to baby grand stock cars, getting 3 national championships in that. Then I moved up to super late models, getting 2 Rookie of the Years and a championship in that. Finally, I moved up to the K&N Pro Series. And 2 weeks after my 15th birthday, I got to race in the first race, finished second. It was incredible to win at Daytona. Just the sheer raw emotion of winning at a place like that is just something you don't experience every day. To win there was a huge deal for me, and hopefully get some more. I'm Cameron Haley, and that's your K&N BioBlast.
So, Phil, from age 3 till now, he's pretty much had a steering wheel in his hands.
Yeah, he certainly has, and it would not surprise me to see him make it to the Cup level. Incredible talent here. Now let's go down and talk to him. He's our pole sitter. He's with Derek.
It's an all Gene Price Motorsports front row, and the man on the pole is the driver that won the Daytona Battle at the Beach, Cameron Haley. And Cameron, this is your Daytona car, but why bring this car? That's a flat track. This place is high banked.
Well, you know, we had a lot of success in this car. I love this car. I love driving it, and we just thought it'd be a good car to bring here to Lebanon. And, I mean, we had a great car yesterday in practice. We didn't work a whole lot in qualifying, and here we are on the pole, so we'll be good for the race.
You said that you really like this track a lot. What is it that you like about it?
I love the high banks. I mean, I grew up racing on a flat, real short track, and it's not quite what I used to growing up on, but I race at Montana Raceway Park, and I just absolutely love that track, and this reminds me a lot of it, so I think we'll be good tonight.
Guys, Cameron Haley starts on the pole.
Phil, what's it going to take to be good tonight here at I-44 Speedway?
You know, Ray, the guys down in the garage area say it's really easy to overdrive the corner, so you certainly don't want to do that. Nobody knows what these tires are going to do for 150 laps, so you want to manage that and show some patience here. This is a real easy track to race side-by-side 3 wide. You got to keep the fenders on it.
So when we come back to our first trip to Lebanon, Missouri, we'll introduce you to the starting lineup for tonight's Toyota G-Oil 150. Rain has been in the area throughout the course of the day. We're keeping our fingers crossed that we're able to get all 150 racing laps in tonight as the K&N Pro Series West comes to this beautiful racetrack for the first time. And we see Greg Pursley on the outside. Down to the inside, we heard from our pole sitter, Cameron Haley. And as we take a look at our starting lineup, Phil, 4 Fords at the front of the field.
Yeah, we have teammates from Gene Price Motorsports up in the front row. In the second row, Bob Rubencotti's teammates. And then right back in the third row, the guy that's coming off a win 2 days ago at Iowa, Michael Self.
16 cars in our lineup. They're coming off of turn number 4. We're ready to go racing at I-44 Speedway. And what a jump young Cameron Haley gets on his teammate.
We heard Derek talk about these guys running the middle of the racetrack. That's the groove. You see Cameron, he's up there in the middle. Ooh, looks like That's Derek Thorne, who went way wide to lose. Now he's 3 wide.
Bob Brucotti's got to be saying, what is going on? It's the first lap of the race, and you guys are beating and banging already. Hold on, guys.
How about these teammates battling hard? Side-by-side contact.
Those guys side by side rolling down the front straightaway, and we see Greg Pursley will lead lap number 3.
Doesn't seem like there's only 3 laps gone in this 150-lap race as hard as these guys are racing.
Is this the last lap? Look at this. Haley with his right front tire right up on that quarter panel of Pursley.
Great little racetrack here, Ray.
Oh, I love this place. Haley did get credit for leading lap number 1. Then Pursley will now take over. So put the 26 at the front of the field.
You know, it's amazing. The last 3 years, Greg Pursley's had a youngster as a teammate and really mentoring them. But how competitive those youngsters have been with Dylan Kwasniewski first and now Cameron Haley.
This time last year, as we were at this time of year getting ready to head off to Sonoma, Greg Pursley had already captured a pair of victories here in this series. And obviously these guys, 2 of the people we've talked about a lot about being championship contenders here in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West. A year ago, the car that Haley is driving went to victory lane as a champion. That was Dylan Kwasniewski driving, and then, of course, Pursley, the champion the year before.
Yeah, Greg started out the year with a bang with that win at Phoenix. Been strong every other race, all top 10 finishes. So another great start to the 2013 season.
It was, 2 years ago when Pursley had knocked out all those victories. He won like 6 of the first 7 or 8. It was just he was on a roll. Could not be beat. But this year there's been really good competition at each and every track we've gone to.
He certainly has. Michael Self is the guy that's got to victory lane a couple times. As a matter of fact, our last 2 races, right now he currently runs in the 5th spot.
So Self trying to get 3 in a row, which has not been done for a long time. What were you telling me, Phil? The last time Greg Pursley did it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, in his championship year. But in the middle of that was that race at Iowa, the combo race. He actually finished 4th overall, but got credit for the West win. The last time a guy did 3 in a row overall victors was Austin Cameron back in 2004.
Good battle right here as Derek Thorne is down to the inside. His number 6 Sunrise Ford gets a little bit loose. Dylan Hutchison on the outside there in the Bay Biodiesel number 5. And for more on the number 5 car, let's get back down trackside and check in with our pit reporter, Derek.
The 18-year-old Dylan Hutchison is running in the top 10 right now. He's 11th in the points. He has 2 top 10 so far this year. He graduated from Del Campo High School just 2 weeks ago. He's a pretty technically savvy kid. His grandfather is Rex Hutchison, a well-known engine builder on the West Coast. And the engine that's in that car is an engine that Dylan helped build himself.
Thank you, Derek. I just love how Jack Sellers has helped this young team, too, and getting Dylan Hutchison off to a good run. And, oh, the yellow is out. Our first caution has come out. The 14 is spun off the corner. No, it looks like no contact, though.
Yeah, I love the fact that there was a lot of room out there between the racetrack and the wall, so Jamie Kresick was able to get his car righted without any damage from the outside wall.
First caution tonight here at Lebanon I-44 Speedway. So Kresick, with no damage, should be able to get right back into the fold, and we should get back to action here shortly.
Yeah, this is a great racetrack here. Now, the guy had a lot of rain today, but fortunately the racetrack opened up last night for some practice after all the teams made their way from Iowa.
Yeah, no question it hurt the crowd here tonight with the weather we've had throughout the course of the day, but we're still under green so far, and keeping our fingers crossed that the rain will hold off tonight. First caution is out, and we need to take a quick break. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Early on in the season, we're getting ready to go back to green here for our first ever trip to Lebanon I-44 Speedway. Cameron Haley on the pole, and he's had an excellent battle tonight so far with his teammate Pursley with the good jump at the green flag. He'll go down into turn number 1, try to use that high side for momentum, but here comes Haley back on the bottom, and there's contact on the corners.
Cameron Haley wanted the middle of the racetrack. He pushed Greg Pursley up. That's going to open up the bottom for Eric Holmes now. Eric takes over the 2nd spot.
Holmes in that Napa car drives to the bottom, and he gets a really nice run off the center, but he's going to pinch Pursley.
Pursley still has that outside line. That's where he wants to be. They're side by side exiting 4.
The 6 and the 9 side by side right behind that group, and that has allowed Cameron Haley to stretch it out about 4 car lengths as we continue side by side. Now Michael Self gets into this battle.
Yeah, Pursley got that 2nd spot back from Eric Holmes. Great side-by-side battle among teammates. Let's look at this contact, Ray, getting in turn number 3.
The big question will be, Phil, did he have enough contact there to have a problem with that left front tire? We hope that'll stay inflated for Pursley. He's still at full speed.
I've been watching the tire. I don't see any smoke from there.
So Haley has been able to hold on for the lead, and for more on him, let's go to the pits.
Guys, Cameron Haley in that number 24 car is a high school junior, so he plays sports in school. He plays volleyball and basketball. Talking with him earlier today, he said the basketball and the volleyball is great for him. It helps him think on his feet in fast-moving sports, and he says that helps him behind the wheel of the race car.
Anything to do with hand-eye coordination's got to be a benefit, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. And he's a tall youngster, too, so I'm sure he's a very good basketball player as well as a volleyball player.
And here comes Michael Self, Phil. He's going to get to the bottom of Derek Thorne. He's going to try the bottom side and the 21 side-by-side with the 6.
Very, very close. No contact, it doesn't appear. Dylan Lupton right behind this side-by-side battle.
This has got to be a ball, Phil, to be able to hold that side-by-side position and race like that. These guys have been doing it all throughout the field. Right now, though, it appears that Self may have gotten the position, and now the Broomcotti cars are side-by-side once again.
Yeah, Lupton on the inside. Let's see if he can do something with his teammate Thorne. Looks like he has the spot. The guys really were raving in the garage area about how smooth this surface is, Ray, as well as very adhesive.
And that whole crossover thing, like Derek was talking about, you can go to the high side and dive down, or whatever your race car will allow. It gives you lots of options.
Cameron Haley has probably the most comfortable lead we've seen anyone have tonight after 26 laps.
Right behind him is teammate Greg Pursley as they roll down into turns 1 and 2. And it's very deceiving from this high angle of just how much banking there is on this racetrack. From sitting up top here in the booth, you look down, it almost looks flat, but when you're in the race car, it's sure not.
Got a glimpse of Dylan Lupton trying to get to the inside there to try to make a move on Michael Self.
Self a winner at Brainerd. We documented that, and then that big win out at the Iowa Speedway. The first time ever for the K&M Pro Series West to take the overall win in that. And the yellow is out for our second time. Brett Thompson has spun off of the corner.
Again, a same situation. A lot of room between the racetrack and the wall, so no contact with the outside wall, but looks like Brett put his winning net down. There may be something more than just a spin here, Ray.
Let's take a look back at it here. Brett's coming down, and looks like that may be an engine failure, Phil.
Yeah, sure does. Looks like a terminal engine failure for Brett Thompson. We don't see that many. You see, is that Hutchison turning around there in the oil possibly?
So just 27 laps into this one, looks like it may be the end of the day for the Rich Thompson Trucking number 61.
Yeah, tough break for Brett. He's a former winner here in the series, won at Bakersfield back about 9 years ago.
Well, that's going to take them a little while to get that cleaned up. There is definitely some fluid down on the racetrack, so they'll put the number 61 on the hook, get them to the garage. So while they're doing that, we'll take another break and be back to I-44. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our coverage now. We pick up the race back at lap number 62.
Cameron Haley still holds down the lead. Greg Pursley now right on his back bumper. Good run through the center of the corner of Pursley. See side-by-side battle for third. Dylan Lupton on the inside of Eric Holmes.
Not a lot has changed in our lineup since we went to break when Rich Thompson Trucking number 61 blew up. Brett Thompson has gone to the garage and is officially listed out of the race with engine failure.
Good run here for Lupton, trying to make his way by the Napa car of Eric Holmes. Remember, Sergio Pena started out in that car this season, but they parted company a couple weeks ago, and Eric Holmes back full-time in this car that he drove for several years.
Is there any chance, Phil, that Holmes could get back in this championship chase, having missed 2 races this season? That's an awful big hurdle to jump over.
It is, Ray. We have great side-by-side racing here for the lead among teammates, but I talked to Eric in the garage area. He said, hey, I think the driver championship we're out of the equation for, but we're trying for that owner championship. That they certainly have a shot for. But what great side-by-side racing.
These guys continue to battle side by side as they come back up on the rear end of that number 14. Jamie better look out of the way because there is a fierce battle for the lead. And Haley gets into the wall. Pursley ran him up right at the flag stand.
Looked like Greg squeezed him just a little bit. Haley made some contact with the outside wall. I swear you wouldn't think these guys were teammates.
I was worried about Pursley's left front. Now I may be more worried about Haley's right rear.
Tell you, Gene Price Motorsports builds these cars pretty stout. See Dylan Lupton now, he's closed up to that front. Fierce battle for the lead.
There's some really good racing all over this track, and again, I just love the options that it gives you. Now Persley is going to stretch it out just a little bit. He'll get about a 2-car length lead, and I just can't get over, Phil, how Lupton is hanging right in there in that Vadio number 9.
He certainly is. He's actually caught these two leaders as they were battling side by side, but he was in the midst of his own side-by-side battle with Michael Self. He's obviously prevailed on that and going after Cameron Haley.
And Phil, we are coming up close to the halfway break. Around lap 75, we will get a caution, and these guys will be allowed to go to the pits. What can they do on the race cars?
Not much. They're not going to be allowed to change tires or put fuel in them, so they can adjust air pressure, maybe adjust some wedge or the track bar, but not a whole lot here because these guys feel like the tires will last 150 laps.
So maybe get a sandwich, go to the restroom, whatever you need to do, right?
Go to the concession stand. Absolutely.
Get a hot dog. Good battling tonight so far between these two Gene Price Motorsports cars, coming up again on lap traffic.
We may need time for them to cool off here as hard as these guys have been going after it.
Taylor Kuzik there about to possibly go a lap down to Greg Persley. Hate to do that with just 2 laps to go before the halfway break, but he will lose a lap. Now Haley will drop to the inside of the 42 car.
Yeah, if Taylor can stay there, then he'll be in line to get the free pass. So he just doesn't want these guys to lap anyone else before the caution flag comes out for the halftime break.
Lupton will go by him also. So those front 3 cars you could about throw a blanket on. Next time by, we should be seeing the caution flag for halftime tonight in the Toyota G-Oil 150.
And Greg Persley right now is just on cruise control. He knows the caution's going to come out. Cameron Haley's not going to push the issue. See Dylan Lupton right there behind him in 3rd.
Sometimes they give it an extra lap here, just depending on how things look on the track. Yellow flag should be coming out this time by.
I think they want to let the entire field cycle, and they give the caution flag to our leader, Greg Persley.
So it's been Persley and Haley up front. Those 2 guys have done a little bit of fender swapping, and it's been a lot of fun to watch as we come to halftime break tonight here in our first ever trip for the K&M Pro Series West at I-44 Speedway.
Again, Ray, we talked about not being able to do a whole lot on this pit stop, but you know, a little bit of air pressure here, a little bit of wedge here, that could make a big difference. Could Dylan Lupton maybe make the changes that it's going to allow him to battle these guys up front?
Absolutely. We'll see what those guys do. Michael Self rolling into your picture there, and also Eric Holmes. So those guys are the top 5 in tonight's event so far.
We saw the 42 of Taylor Kuzik being waved around. He does get the free pass, and that puts him back on the lead lap.
So any minute now, Phil, the race cars will stop down on the track. Crews can come out and make some adjustments. So because of that, we're going to take another quick break. You're watching the Toyota G-Oil 150. It's the K&M Pro Series West right here on Speed. Welcome back to Lebanon, Missouri. Halftime breaks and adjustments have been completed. We're getting ready to go back as sunset is coming on to the I-44 Speedway. Ray Dunlap along with Phil Parsons and Derek Pernasiglio. The second half of the Toyota G-Oil 150 coming your way. Greg Persley on the inside, his teammate to the high side, and we're back to green.
We saw how hard these guys battled during that first half of the racetrack. Now, this is the point where something really matters. They have a trophy waiting at the end of this 75-lap segment.
Derek Thorne went way down to the bottom of the inside, and these 2 front runners are continuing to beat and bang fenders.
Well, nothing really changed from that first segment.
Michael Self has now moved up to 3rd. He got by Dylan Lupton there on the restart.
Good run off the corner for Cameron Haley. You saw Greg Persley go down way low there. Looked like it cost him a little bit of momentum up off the corner.
And when Derek Thorne went to the bottom of the track, Phil, it cost him. He got really sideways and lost 2 or 3 spots. He slid back in the field now behind. Holmes and Haar, I think, are both ahead of him.
Yeah, Daryl Haar, what a great run. You know, he got not 1 lap of practice. He raced earlier today in the nationwide race at Iowa because it was rained out last night. Came here, they set the car up, he jumped in it. What a great run he has going.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Haar in the iWorld Connect car, that number 71 is on the outside, and he's given a great battle to Eric Holmes in the Napa race car.
Yeah, maybe that's a good plan for Darrell Haar. Not practice anymore, because man, does he have a good car.
I am not going to count out Derek Thorne, that's for sure. Now we go back to the front of the field and take a look. Here comes Haley, and right behind them you see Michael Self making some contact in the Golden Gate Meats race car.
Yeah, Michael was running in the third spot, made some pretty significant contact with the right rear corner of that 21 car.
Well, that could be problems for Michael Self. For more, let's get back down to the pits and Derek.
Michael Self in that number 21 car banged the right rear off the fourth turn wall a few laps ago. The handling started to go away. Listen to him on the radio. He said he's starting to adapt so he can feel what the car is doing and change his driving style to how the car is reacting.
Thank you, Derek. And he's stuck on the high side, so if he wanted to go to the bottom, he doesn't have that option right now, Phil.
Yeah, it looks like maybe no damage to that car, no significant damage anyway to the 21 car. He's hanging in there great with that side-by-side battle as we see Greg Pursley now try to make a move on his teammate, Cameron Haley, for the lead.
The rear end of Pursley's number 26 got a little bit light that time, and we've got Michael Self around.
Saw him racing really hard with the 9 of Dylan Lupton. Not sure if there was any contact or not, but Michael Self will lose a bunch of track position here.
Could this be a flat tire from that wall contact?
Could be. Let's see if the right rear tire looks up. I'm telling you, it looks up, Ray.
Yep, Michael Self.
You can see the damage from where he hit the concrete wall on that right side tire. See if we can take a look at what happened. Here they are side by side. Dylan Lupton on the inside, Michael Self on the outside. Looks like just a battling for position there. They made a little bit of contact. Dylan Lupton got a little bit up the hill, and when he did, he got into Michael Self and around he went.
After that first contact, looked like they might have been able to make it through it, but the second contact caused the spin.
Yeah, Michael Self lost all his track position. He will restart this race now in the 10th spot here, and time is running out. He's running out of laps.
Ready to go back to green flag racing. As you said, Self back in 10th. It's the Gene Price Motorsports front row. Right behind them, we'll see the 6 of Derek Thorne, and down to the inside, the Napa race car of Holmes. Back to green flag racing with about 60 to go.
Good restart by Cameron Haley. How about Derek Thorne now jumps to the outside of Greg Pursley in the battle for second?
Derek Thorne trying to go to the high side. He'll get past Pursley for sure, and now he's in second, right on the bumper of Cameron Haley. Down to the bottom.
Well, that's not what Greg Pursley wants, is to have somebody in between him and his teammate. But Derek Thorne now is going after Cameron Haley.
Derek Thorne, a two-time winner a year ago. He won at Albuquerque, also that big victory at Havasu.
Already got to victory lane at Stockton this year for career win number 3 for Derek Thorne.
Boy, he's got the bottom figured out, Phil. Look at this. He may be taking that position away from Haley. Down the front straightaway, they're side by side, but Haley holds on.
Where's Pursley going to go now? Is he going to go to the high side? Is he going to go to the low side?
Wow, this is some great racing. 1, 2, 3. You can throw a blanket over him, and don't count out Eric Holmes. He's right there, too.
Yeah, Pursley's trying to get to the inside of Derek Thorne now to try to get that second spot back. Way down low for Greg Pursley. Hard to get the throttle down, though, when you get down that far.
The banking's certainly different, and as Derek was talking about, a lot less rubber down there if you get those left sides down in that gray area.
See, Dylan Lupton continues to hold down the top 5 spot in 5th, and Darrell Haar right now running 6th, and there's Michael Self. He's made his way back up to 7th.
Inchworm, little bit at a time, but does he have enough time, Phil, with 53 to go?
It's going to be hard. These guys have been running so well up front here. He may need another restart or something like that to jumble the field up. Greg Pursley took another look at the bottom of Derek Thorne. Nothing there.
Pursley down to the bottom of the racetrack. Coming down that back straightaway. That's a pretty cool shot right there, and you can see just how dark the skies have gotten. Again, rain in the area. We'll keep our eye on the radar.
Pursley continues to battle with Derek Thorne. He's able to drive right up beside him through the center of the corner, but he loses the momentum off the corner. Derek Thorne has it from the high side.
Real Water, one of the sponsors for Pursley. The front of the hood just says Gene Price Motorsports, and that has been the dominant team in this series for the last couple of seasons.
It's good to see Gene Price back at the racetrack. He showed up at Iowa. Remember, he had a little bit of surgery, and he missed a couple of races, so glad to have Gene back at the racetrack.
Cameron Haley, you know, Phil, we talked about that big win at the Battle of the Beach. Obviously, that one doesn't count in the record books, but he's got that trophy from Daytona. You can't take that away from him. but I'm sure he's saying, I'd like to start asserting myself as a weekly threat to win these races in the K&N Pro Series West.
And he is a weekly threat. He's had a great season so far, all top 5 finishes so far for Cameron Haley. Just hasn't quite got to victory lane yet.
Pulled off some good numbers, but tonight he looks strong. Going down that back straightaway here at I-44, he's got now a full car length over Derek Thorne.
And that's a lot.
Yeah, after what we've seen lately, for sure it is.
The battle's calmed down a little bit between Thorne and Persley and for second.
You know how much he told us in the garage area about having this car that he likes so much, and that certainly is a confidence builder for a young driver. You get in a rhythm with a car, you know how it's going to respond when you make those changes, like they did at halftime tonight, and so far it certainly appears like he's got the handle on the 24.
It certainly does here, and he's got Derek Thorne behind him right now. I don't think Derek Thorne maybe worries him quite as much as his teammate has, because he and Greg Persley have put on a great show.
It's like the 15 of Gentleman Jack up in front of them. He will drop down to the bottom side of the racetrack in that Bay Biodiesel number 5 and give him plenty of room to race.
Yeah, Jack's other car, Dylan Hutchison, doing a great job here running up in the top 10. See, Derek Thorne stays right with Cameron Haley. Cameron cannot relax for a second. Cannot make any mistakes here.
Now we're closing in on 40 to go. Can Michael Self do some advancing? He is kind of stuck back there right now as they continue to go around some lap cars down the back straightaway. Haley just seems to have a great rhythm right now, Phil, and he can go high on the racetrack or wherever he needs to. Look, on the back straightaway, he goes up off the track almost.
Yeah, it's really flat up there, so you don't want to get up there too far. And in the transition, as we see Greg Persley now, he's got a good run going on Derek Thorne for second.
Here comes Persley to the inside. Can he take that spot back away from Thorne? Thought they were going to touch there, but they both stayed off of the fenders. Good job there, Persley back to second.
That was a good illustration of the transition when you go off that flat on the backstretch back onto the racetrack. We saw Derek Thorne's car upset a little bit after he came back on the racetrack from that flat of the backstretch.
Fine line there between how far you can go up, right?
Certainly is. Greg Persley now has that second spot at hand, now going after his teammate Cameron Haley. Caution on the racetrack.
Fifth caution tonight as the yellow flies, and over off of the corner, Giles Thornton, who's had some really good runs lately, gets his car loose and slides up in car number 12. He's off the racetrack, but looks like no damage.
Yeah, Thornton didn't run the first race of this year because he wasn't yet 15 years old at Phoenix.
And he will go to the pit area. I misspoke there. Does look like there's a little damage on that right front corner. So while Thornton will go to the garage, we'll take one more break. Back with more from I-44 Speedway. Fantastic side-by-side racing tonight here at Lebanon, Missouri. We have had a good battle so far, and it's the Gene Price Motorsports cars 1 and 2 once again as we get ready to go back. See, the flagman has the green in the air, and we're underway. Great
restart, great jump by Cameron Haley from the outside. Now Greg Persley's going to battle hard on the inside.
2 by 2 all through the field. Michael Self trying to go to the bottom. He's going to try to get a position away from the 9 of Lumpton.
Meanwhile, Persley did all he could do to try to get by his teammate, not able to do it.
Persley's trying to use that bottom, and it just seems like the momentum is there for the 24.
Cameron has done a nice job running the line that his racetrack wants. I think Greg Persley's car would be better up at that outside line too, but Cameron Haley's there.
Persley now inches up a little bit, still keeping his eye on that lower side of the groove, we'll call it.
Derek Thorne continues to hold down the third spot. Eric Holmes in fourth, and looks like Michael Self may be wrestling that fifth spot away from Darrell Haar.
There comes Self. He will get that position. Now he's set his sights on the number 16 of Eric Holmes.
There goes Lupton. Now he gets around Darrell Haar.
Holmes won the championship in 06, 08, and 010, but wasn't able to pull it off a year ago.
He certainly had to be the favorite because it was an even-numbered year.
Well, I think he's tired of us teasing him about that. But here we go. Battle side by side. Persley to the bottom. He's going to try to come up the track. Can he hold him off? Haley still has the momentum. These two side by side, and Persley may have the position.
You see Greg move him up the hill a little bit, trying to take a little bit more of that middle of the racetrack away.
They may need an ambulance for Gene Price before this one's over.
Great pass by Greg Persley. He did it on the bottom of the racetrack.
Man, that is some good racing right here in the K&M Pro Series West. We've seen side-by-side all around this track, but especially for the lead, that's been a ball to watch.
See, once Greg got dead even with Cameron Haley, then he was able to move him up the hill a little bit to get a little bit more grip through the center of the corner. Now he's opened up a couple car lengths.
Yeah, now look where the 26 is running, right up in that higher part of the groove, and then Haley's back there now. He's lost 2 car lengths to the leader.
The inside of 30 laps to go.
Love this racetrack. Love it. Love that option that it gives these drivers.
And that's all a race car driver wants, Ray, or options. Can you run down on the bottom? Can you run up high? If you can do that, that's all you ask for.
Pursley back out front right now. These 2 race cars have led pretty much all of the race, but it's been a lot of swapping for the lead.
Yeah, right now, Greg Pursley's got about 6-7 car lengths on his teammate Cameron Haley. Oh, caution on the racetrack. That's going to close it up. Derek Thorne was around off of turn number 4.
The Sunrise Ford loop-de-doos, and that'll bring out the yellow once again.
Yeah, Derek was running up in the top 5. You see Eric Holmes also has some damage. He stopped on the racetrack.
Holmes has stopped, and it appears that his engine is not running.
Just trying to get that's raw fuel in the exhaust system. You see a lot of smoke, though, from under the hood of Eric Holmes' car.
And he is going to go down a lap here, Phil, while he's sitting there trying to get that car refired.
Let's take a look at what happened here. You see, just looks like Derek Thorne just got a little bit loose down in 3 and 4.
And while Holmes was slowing down, Michael Self came in there pretty fast, but I'm not sure exactly what happened to the 16. We'll try to sort it out during the break and be back right after this. Ready to go back to racing here at I-44 Speedway. We have got the field lined back up, and down to the inside is Greg Pursley, his teammate to the outside. It's Deja Vu, and the green flag's out.
Good jump by Greg Pursley. He clears Cameron Haley and able to pull up in front of him. Michael Self now is back up to the 3rd spot.
Self right back in the battle here, and here comes the number 9 down to the inside. He's going to challenge him down the back straightaway.
Dylan Lupton makes the move to the inside to try to get side by side, and he does side by side with Michael Self.
Daryl Haar still right there in the picture, currently running 5th. Great run for that team today.
Dylan Hutchison right behind him in the 6th spot. Good run for him.
Pursley, our leader. Haley is 2nd. And just to update you, the number 16 of Eric Holmes did get that engine refired and join the field right before we had our last break there.
He's been shown right now 1 lap down, so he's going to need a caution flag to try to get the free pass so he can contend here.
17 laps to go. 16 when they hit the stripe this time. Down the front straightaway. It's been a Gene Price Motorsports show so far tonight, but we've had great racing all around this racetrack.
Looks like the 21 of Michael Self is showing a little more strength than he has this entire race. He's right up there now with Cameron Haley. Dylan Lupton continues to run in the 4th spot. Oh, side by side. Battle right there. That's Derek Thorne trying to make his way back towards the front. Dylan Hutchison in the 5 car side by side.
.375 is the listed distance of this racetrack, but with the high banks, we got some very fast speeds, and it kind of reminds you of a full-blown half mile here at I-44 Speedway. Derek Thorne, who spun out and brought out our most recent caution, trying to get back into contention tonight.
He's still on the lead lap. Eric Holmes, who's right behind the 5 of Dylan Hutchison, actually side by side with him. Remember, he's still 1 lap down, running right now in about the 9th spot.
And Thorne is really fighting that Sunrise Ford. That thing is all over the racetrack, and here we go. Another battle for the lead down to the inside. Haley trying to take a look.
Cameron Haley realizes we're getting close to 10 laps to go. If something's going to happen, he's going to have to make it happen pretty soon. Now he's working the bottom of the racetrack. Remember, we saw Pursley do that earlier and able to get by him.
Haley went way down into the gray stuff that time. Seemed like it may have upset the balance on that Cabinets by Haley race car, and he's going to back off just a little bit, maybe reset to try it again.
Going on to 10 laps to go here. Right now it's 11. Make it 10 to go, Ray.
Tires were no issue, Phil. The guys made their adjustments tonight at the halftime, and you got what you got. Is this as hard as you can run right now?
Without a doubt, as hard as you can run inside of 10 laps to go. Cameron Haley's trying to figure out a way around his teammate, Greg Pursley.
He wants that first official victory in the K&N Pro Series West. He won the exhibition race at Daytona at the very beginning of the season. The brand new Battle at the Beach event went to Cameron Haley, but he wants a trophy, and there goes Thorne again. Derek Thorne spins it out with 8 laps to go.
And that is going to bring out a caution flag. We will have another double foul restart. Eric Holmes will get the free pass, be back on the lead lap.
Looked like there may have been some contact on this one. That first time that Thorne spun, he was all by himself. Let's take a look.
There he is inside of Darrell Haar. Good side-by-side battle. Just didn't have quite enough room. Got a little bit light in the back end, and around he goes. Keeps it out of the wall, though.
Nothing Darrell Haar did wrong there, though.
Not at all. Just good, hard, short track racing.
All right, well, the yellow is out, and we are down to the nitty-gritty. More of the Toyota G-Oil 150 right after this. Phil Parsons, Ray Dunlap, Derek Pernasiglio covering the action tonight, and we've had a great battle. Green flag is back out inside of 10 laps to go.
This restart's going to be so important, Ray. Who's going to be able to get the lead after this restart? Greg Pursley right now has it. Cameron Haley's fighting back on the outside.
Haley says, give me that high side of the track. Momentum can be my friend. Pursley gets a little bit loose, and they're side by side in contact.
Pretty hard contact between Pursley and Haley. Michael Self right there in third.
Here
Thinking about
go.
making it 3 wide.
Oh, and they're grubbing fenders. Here comes Self down to the inside. Pursley in the middle, and there's going to be a spin.
Looked like there might have been a little bit of contact, but both Pursley and Haley are around.
Yellow flag is out. Yellow flag, and we're going to go overtime, Phil.
And Michael Self will have the lead here. It was a great side-by-side battle for the lead. He said Greg Pursley's not real happy about it. Michael Self drove it in there, made it 3 wide. Looked like there might have been a little bit of contact, but hard racing here inside of 5 to go.
Michael Self restarted 10th just a while ago, and look at this. Pursley rubbing his teammate down the back straightaway. Haley gets up on that flat spot. Michael Self opens the door. There's plenty of room here, but there was just a little bit of contact.
A little bit of contact. We see this racetrack is extremely wide. They're fighting for position down here. Watch, Michael Self drives it in here. He's all the way up to Greg Pursley's door. And they get together and start sliding, and Greg Pursley makes contact with Cameron Haley and turns him around as well.
Boy, oh boy, I mean, they ran out of space there, but it didn't look like anybody really did anything wrong.
Really hard racing here. Now we've got one more restart. Overtime here.
Dylan Lupton on the outside looking for a career best run tonight. Michael Self is going for 3 in a row, and we've got a green-white checkered coming your way. And the 2 cars that dominated this race tonight slightly out of the picture.
How about Darrell Haar? Dylan Hutchison up here in the second row running 3rd and 4th.
We could have all kinds of career best finishes tonight. Can Michael Self get 3 in a row? Down the front straightaway. Green flag is out. He gets a really good jump on Lupton, and he's got the racetrack to use as he needs.
That's going to open up the bottom of the racetrack. Darrell Haar now running for 2nd, side by side with Lupton.
They've been beating and banging all the way around this racetrack all night. I don't expect that to stop. Bruncotti's cars are side by side, and they're banging.
Last lap, Ray. White flag.
White flag is out. Michael Self going for 3 in the row in the K&N Pro Series West. The 9 goes to the bottom. Here's Haar. Those guys fighting side by side, and Michael Self will get the victory at our first ever run at I-44 Speedway.
3 in a row for Michael Self and the Offenbach Racing Team.
Brainerd, Minnesota, then off to Iowa in the big combo event, and now tonight, just a couple of days later, Michael Self gets his 3rd win in a row. That's pretty impressive.
It's the first time in 36 years that somebody has won 2 races in 1 weekend. Harry Jefferson did it back in 1977.
Well, that's pretty cool, and Michael Self will roll his Golden Gate Meats and Bay Biodiesel number 21 Chevrolet into victory lane tonight here at I-44 Speedway.
See the damage from that contact with the wall on the right side.
Sure, there's going to be a few tempers flaring tonight after contact took out Greg Pursley and Cameron Haley, the 2 guys that dominated tonight. But when we come back, Michael Self will be in victory lane. After a 36-year gap, one driver has won 2 races in the same weekend. His name is Michael Self. He's in the G-Oil victory lane, and let's hear from him with Derek.
Michael Self pulls the hat trick and takes 3 in a row in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West, winning here tonight at the Lebanon I-44 Speedway. Huge win for him. Come on down here, Michael. We got to talk to you. Hugs all around from the crew. Congratulations. Going right on down the receiving line. Come on over here, Michael. Get your first short track win, 3 in a row. You do the Midwest sweep. Can you believe it?
No, I really can't, but we had to work for it. It wasn't easy by any means. You know, that's short track racing right there, and we've been overdue for one for so long. We've definitely had our share of bad luck on the short track races, and this car has seen more bad luck and rough races than anything. So just so happy for this team. You know, we worked hard all night. I wouldn't say we had the best car, but we made it work and turned it out to be the best.
Gene Price stopped me on the way down here. He wanted to let me know he was not happy with you getting into both of his cars. How do you respond to that?
I'm not happy when both of his cars get into me at other races. You know, that's kind of the way racing goes. I mean, the short track racing, that's 3H racing. Gene knows, Craig knows, Cameron knows. I mean, you got to give a little bit of room right there, especially with 5 laps to go. We're all going to go for it. You know, I don't want to see cars get torn up. I don't want to see people get wrecked. I've been there plenty of times, but you know, you got to take a little bit of responsibility, and I'll take 33%. Hopefully those two can take the other 66%.
That's 3 wins in a row from Michael Self.
That's some pretty good math there.
I don't know where the other 1% is going to come from, though.
Steve Portengay will carry that, I guess. As we take a look at our results, how about career best finishes for Darrell Haar, Dylan Lupton, and Dylan Hutchison? And Derek Thorne is third. That's a lot of D's all in a row, but that was a great finish tonight. And we want to hear from the guy who finished second, a career best run for Darrell Haar in the iWorld Connect race car.
Well, Darrell Haar comes all the way from 11th spot, a hard-fought race tonight, but what a run for you. How was that car?
I mean, that was too cool. I mean, this is our first top 3 in 10 years, so you know, can't beat that. Congratulations to Michael. You know, he's been just on a tear lately, so to finish second to him, that's really cool. And we've had such bad luck this year, and you know, finally the lucky cards started to fall our way. And I mean, that has a lot to do with my awesome crew. And you know, we started the day early in Iowa, ran the nationwide race there, and we jumped on a plane, got down here. Only got 2 laps of practice in qualifying, and you know, was able to take it from 11th up to second in the end. So it was pretty cool.
Were you nervous at the start of this race because all you had for laps here was qualifying?
Oh man, I was nervous for a lot of reasons, to be honest with you. I mean, this is a car that we got our to this point our best finish to date in Iowa. We ran this car 2 days ago in Iowa, and we flew in and had about an hour to prepare it. I set this car up going through tech for qualifying, so we had a lot of things to worry about. I wasn't sure if the brakes were going to hold. I wasn't sure. We were running a little hot before the break. We pulled some tape and cooled down, so that was good. And then, you know, like I say, if something could go wrong this year, I've had it go wrong. So I've got, you know, just a million reasons to be nervous, but this is really cool.
Darrell Haar finishes second. Score 1 for the little guys.
Well, thank you, Derek. And we want to take a quick look at the points now after tonight's race. Derek Thorne will lose 7 points. He still stays in second, and a really good battle from first to fourth, just 11 points.
Well, Dylan Lupton comes home third tonight in the Sunrise Ford car, but it looks like you and your teammate had some words after the checkered flag. What was that all about?
You know, it's just racing. Me and Derek are real close. We've been getting along it, but on track, you know, no one's really teammates. I got into him early in the race on accident. Didn't really mean to do that, but we were able to come back and race, and then he had a problem, and on the coming to the checkered, we kind of bumped. But it was a great finish for us. Car was set up great. Just, I blew it on the restarts tonight. It didn't matter high or low. I just could not get going. So it was unfortunate that we lost that extra position coming to the checkered, but a third-place finish is great for us. We've been working really hard, and this year is starting to shape up pretty good, so looks like we're have a good handle on the Rookie of the Year point standings right now, so that's what we're kind of gunning for, and then we're just racking up top 5s now every race.
Lupton just 30 points out of the championship. May not want to count him out. Our next racing coming up from Langley Speedway. That'll be Thursday, June the 20th.
What a great event here. Great racetrack, and really look forward to a bunch of these coming up in the years to come.
I-44 Speedway was full of action tonight. Michael Self got spun out. There's no way he could get back in contention, right? Until the final couple laps when Gene Price Motorsports cars, they go spinning, and Michael Self gets his third win in a row in the K&N Pro Series West.